Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with episode 2 of building a content creation team. Once again, just a little background. This is the story of building Ascension, the content creation team I'm a part of, that I'm the owner of, and this is kind of giving the guide of the things we're going through and the items that we do and we discuss, and challenges that we come through with building a content creation team from scratch, and kind of opening up the curtain to what that looks like, and all of that stuff. So today in chapter 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it, we're going to talk about support staff, right? So whether that's you're claiming those individuals as board members, executives, management team, moderators, if you're talking about your community or your streaming community or your content community, all of your support staff, and really what it entails, what you're looking for, how to find them, how to bring them in, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to cover a lot of that today, defining those roles that you think you may need. And this is going to be specific for a content creation team, but you can apply it to moderators if that's as far as you need to go. And then once again, we'll end the video by talking about how it applies to Ascension, the content creation team that I'm on and I'm a part of. And then we should end the video there. So we'll go ahead and kick off the intro, and we'll be back in a second. All right, so once again, we'll go through credentials real quick. If you didn't see the first episode, check out episode 1. We covered values and mission statement and sponsorships, things like that. On this one, so credentials, I streamed on Mixer for 2 years. I also did interviews on Mixer. I obviously have a YouTube channel. I'm a student of branding or marketing. I'm also a student of leadership. I practice leadership every day. And then I'm also the current board member of the content creation team Ascension. So also, since we're talking about boardroom support staff today, I'll have the current support staff that we have for Ascension right now. I'll put their social down in the description, so if you need to ask them any questions about their specific roles or what it looks like, what encompasses their role, things like that, further questions, you can get a hold of them if you'd like to. So all right, let's kick it off. So from a support staff perspective, one thing you want to do is you kind of want to outline what you're looking for. And like I said, if you're just talking about maybe moderators, then this might be a little bit less intrusive. But if you're talking about building a support staff for a content creation team, a stream team, organization, whatever you're doing, this kind of is multifolded. You want to create your org chart. So an org chart essentially is shortened versions of an organizational chart. And what that does is it lets everybody know the levels. It lets everyone know who kind of rolls up to who from a supervisor perspective. And it lets you know who you have to go to if you have a specific issue or concern or problem or need help or anything like that. That should align across your org chart. So the reason you want to be thinking about support staff, and I put this as episode 2, is because once you have your values aligned, then once again you can sell those values to other people. I mean that's what you're bringing to the table at this point in time if you're starting with nothing. So with that being said, you're going to have a lot of work, and you're going to need support to help get all that work done. You're going to have to delegate specific things because you're not going to be able to handle it all. So that's where this organizational chart comes in. You're going to determine what that looks like, what you think your management team, your support staff, your board should look like, and you're going to lay that out, whether it's in Excel, on a piece of paper, on Word, it doesn't matter. Just lay it out, but make sure that you do have the levels, right? So it should be, whether it's your boardroom, support staff, mod level, then you may have another level, and you may have your community. You could have team members in there. Whatever that is, whatever your vision is, you want to make sure you put that on paper so that you can present that to people. So when they're looking at coming into the organization, they can clearly see where they would stand on the hierarchy chart. And you should have this determined before you actually go out and ask members to join. Once again, like I just said, they're going to want to know where they stand. Not always. Some people, if they're a little bit novice to this whole situation, they may not. But if you're looking for, higher caliber, talented people who understand business, maybe they've been in other content creation teams, that may be something, and be a prerequisite they're looking from you. So have that skeleton laid out. It doesn't have to be complete, but you should have an idea of, if you're interviewing for a position, where that position lies in the organizational chart. And have a plan now, and being upfront in the beginning stage will help kind of resolve issues down the road. All right, so defining the key roles for the executive team. I'm using my notes here because I want to make sure I hit my points. So you want to think about, what are those roles? So when executive team, boardroom, management team, support staff, all the same thing. You want to define what those roles are. What skills are you looking for in those roles? So under each specific role on the org chart, you should have high level keywords such as organization, or good with social media, or understands marketing, or good at solving problems, good at conflict resolution, all those types of things that you're looking for that position. Write them down underneath the position. So when you are interviewing, or when you're putting the position out there to be filled, people understand what skills they need to be a part of that position, a part of your organization. Makes it clean, makes it clear. There's not a lot of questions. It also defines their responsibilities, so that if they do come on board, you do bring the individual that you interviewed on, then their roles are already loosely defined, a skeleton of what they should be doing. And then you can expand from there. Perfect. Rolls right into the next thing, knowing the expectations of those, right? It allows a clear expectation from the potential candidate, which will determine if they are interested, right? Which we talked about. Expectations also include their work scopes. So what task will you ask of them? What kind of hours will they need to apply? Is there any compensation? Meeting expectations, content expectations. Just kind of think about as much of that deep-rooted stuff as you can. Put it on paper so that everybody knows and it's clear what they're getting themselves into. You're going to have plenty of people who say no. You could have plenty of people who are interested. You're going to have a little bit of both sides, but if you're clear, you're transparent, you're concise, and you box in those expectations, there will be less headaches afterwards, because people are going to go, you won't have that, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I didn't know that was in my job description. I didn't know. And that was more because as a leader, you weren't clear enough with what that rule should be. So think about, when you're making your roles, when you're making your positions, you want to think about what they are, what skills they need, and expectations of those roles and those positions, and what you would like those people to do. So once you have those defined, the next would be the interviewing process. So in the interviewing process, it's going to seem very daunting at the beginning, especially if you haven't done a lot of interviewing, or you struggle maybe with interaction with people or talking about things. But that's where the values and the mission statement help you, right? Because that starts the ball rolling. You'll get comfortable because you believe in those. It's something that is true, to your being, and that rolls into, you just go right down your list of, this is the role you're applying for, you're looking for, this is the expectations that I'm looking for, this is what I need this person to be good at or strong at. So you're kind of laying out that path for you. You don't have to do it off the top of your head, which makes it a lot easier if you're uncomfortable in those types of situations. During the interviewing process, you can, with the roles and the expectations, you can obviously, the candidates can pre-screen themselves, so you won't be getting people that are all over the map. If you have those expectations laid out, they can read through them and go, that's not where I want to be, or that's not my strong suit. Let me go over to this other position or this other role, and that fits for me. That's more aligned with what I like to do. So you won't get so much of the all over the place. It'll help define those individuals that are looking into that. The other thing is, not many people like to be told no, right? So they will shield themselves from that by not applying for roles that don't fit their skills, like we just talked about. The pre-screen of that is defining all of those definitions underneath those positions. While you're interviewing, don't forget about your team's values when choosing your candidates. So as much as you're laying out what you're looking for them, you also want to be looking at the type of person, right? You did the values for a reason. You did the mission statement for a reason. Making sure you're not only getting the expectations piece filled, but you're also getting the personality piece filled, the values piece filled. That's a huge thing for Ascension for us. Don't forget that all these members should not be exactly like you. That's a really good one. So back to our values of Ascension. One of them being diversity, right? Or the D in DIP, the first value. You want to surround yourself with people that align with your values, but you don't want them to have completely similar backgrounds, completely same thought processes, all the same, upbringing, all that kind of stuff, because by having diversity in those areas, it's going to diversify your thought process. It's going to diversify your problem solving, which allows that when your team, every team's going to have it, every organization, every community, they're going to have issues that are going to come up against the entire organization or community. And when those problems arise, if you have people that think differently in a group that are trying to push the team forward, you'll be able to solve that problem faster if you have a diverse thought process or you have diverse backgrounds or all of that stuff, because they can problem solve faster because everybody's looking at the problem from a different direction. You can bounce ideas off each other and it'll get to a faster resolution, which means essentially efficiency equals time, and time is really valuable. Time is money like that, but in this scenario, you may not have money per se or hours or dollar per hour at this point in time. So I didn't want to make that reference, but just remember that diversity is a huge piece of that. In business, it's an absolutely monstrous piece of a successful organization, is having people who come from those different perspectives, because they do help problem solving. You will not slam your head against the wall with a problem and keep going the same direction if you have people from different backgrounds. So ways to interview. So this is an interesting one, because you may say, okay, I got all the other stuff down. I got my roles. I got my descriptions. I got my expectations. I got a couple candidates in for a couple. How should I actually interview them? From an Ascension standpoint, we do our interviews through Discord, which is, we use the video chat. So that's really important. Some people are a little uncomfortable, but if you're in if you're creating a content creation team or community or stream or anything like that, some of the moderators may not be comfortable with that, but from a content perspective, or you're interviewing creators, this should be comfortable for most of them. But I would encourage you from the team side to use your video chat, even if the interviewee or the candidate does not, because it allows them to see your face. It's way more personable. They can see your expressions, how you communicate. Like I use my hands a lot. Obviously, you can tell in these videos. But use the video chat because it opens yourself up. It does feel a little weird at first. We've actually been making all of our members do this on our team meetings weekly, is use video chat, because it does get you more comfortable as you use it more. And make sure you use it. You can use Discord, you can use Zoom, you can use Google Duos, I think, and Microsoft has Teams. With with all those options out there, there's plenty of ways to do it. Just try to do it in a video sense, not just a call, because I feel like you get a lot more out of it. Written only interviews are possible, but you don't get the feedback from the questions. So, you could put out the expectations, ask for the resume, and then, or get feedback of those expectations of what the person thinks they're good at. You may be able to hit all your expectations, but you don't get the people side of it, right? You don't get the diversity side of it, the value side, and all that other stuff. You'll just get the feedback for the expectations. So I believe you'll be missing a big part of what the interview is all about. So from an interviewing perspective, those are the main points I want to hit. I want to go through what our Ascension Content Creation team looks like. We're at 13 minutes, so we'll speed through this. So our team, our board members, we have a CEO, which is me. We have an HR role filled now, which obviously takes care of a lot of the people side of things, right? Whether that's the accolades, or it's the hiring process, or the, hiring / onboarding. There's a whole host of things that position covers. We have a talent and recruiting person, which is really down to doing the initial content scorecard, going out and finding new members or looking for new board members, and doing that initial kickoff to score the individuals from a score sheet perspective, and then being involved in the interview process as well. And both HR, CEO, and talent, all three are involved in the recruiting and interviewing at this point in time. We have a marketing promotion position that's open right now. We do not have that filled. That would be wrapped around marketing, social media, branding, all those types of things. The next position is an event planner. So far we've been doing tournaments with our Ascension team. We have done a Modern Warfare tournament, and we're doing a PUBG tournament as well, and then we're going to continue to do different things like that. So having an event planner that is organized and wraps themselves around those events and lays out, and there's lots of work to do on events. That's why I would like to have that position is currently open as well. It's really just aligning the pieces, making up the flyers, aligning the roster, sending out all the information, keeping people updated, things like that. We have a tech position that is also open. This would be really running the Discord, running any of the ancillary things like maybe possibly doing videos as well. Working with marketing and tech would kind of go hand in hand. And then the last position would be development and academy. This is more of a want than a need at this point in time, but having someone available who's very knowledgeable in multiple areas of content creation, whether that's equipment, whether that's uploading to YouTube, whether that's streaming, Streamlabs, OBS, whatever that looks like, having somebody who's well versed to the community and the team members can ask questions to, and that person could be essentially a subject matter expert. So that's the way our boardroom is set up right now with those positions. We have positions open, we have positions filled. We're still going through interview processes. We're still collecting resumes, things like that. So we are currently active in episode 2 and what I'm bringing to you right now. Episode 2 in the interviewing process and just aligning board members or support staff is one of the more difficult areas of creating that team, right? Because you're looking for people that you can work with, but allowing the team to be diversified. So you're really looking for special people, right? That want to put hours in and may not, currently get paid if you're just starting out. There may not be an incentive more than being part of something that you think can go somewhere. And that's, you're selling your values, you're selling the team aspect, you're selling the future is what you're doing. I enjoy this aspect because it's very interactive. I like talking. Obviously, you can see from these videos. If you have any questions about any of this content, you need more explanation, please reach out to me. You can find me on here in the comments, or you can find me on Twitter, same handle all that, and I will try to help out with anything that we've seen or that we've struggled with, and kind of help you to not go down the same struggles. So once again, I'll leave our HR person and our talent and recruiting person, I'll leave their socials in the bio below if you have any questions for those specific people and how they kind of do their job as well. And then if you have any questions on any of the open positions, please let me know. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. We're going to continue to do these. I have lots of things, lots of items I would like to cover because I think they're beneficial for people building these things inside the content creation, streaming, gaming world right now. I don't think there's a lot of information like this about these types of things. So hopefully it's helpful. Once again, thank you for watching if you did watch, and we'll catch you on the next episode.